Kickboxing, 6 o'clock boxing. Guys, today we're going to be doing some work on working with you guys with the shadow boxing. Shadow boxing is going to be one of your biggest tools that you guys have when you don't have the availability of, heavy bags, things like that. A lot of times you'll see fighters just working our punches, things like that. It's a very valuable tool if used correctly. Today I'm going to work with you guys. I'm going to show, I have Caressa here. I'm going to show you how, from a trainer's aspect, what I look for when I'm trying to develop the skills and what the fighters need to be focusing on. There's two things, intensity and focus. In my opinion, these two things make up how you advance, okay? You can either get better technically, or we can get better physically, okay? Or we can get better both ways. But you can make advancements in your technicality. You can also make advancements in your physicality as far as your strength, your speed, okay? Now, focusing on these different aspects inside of your shadow boxing is what's going to allow you to actually make it a benefit and not just time spent, okay? So today, guys, you can wrap your hands up. I like to shadow box with my hands wrapped. Cressa's got hers wrapped up. You guys want to wrap your hands, go ahead and wrap them up real quick. And we're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. Who we got? Anybody? There we go. On. All right, guys. So today we're going to start off in shadow boxing. Okay. So first thing we want to do in shadow boxing is we want to make sure that our form is correct. Okay. It's the more time we spend doing something correctly, the more the muscle memory takes over, the less you have to think about it. The reverse is also. Okay, if I'm throwing an incorrect jab 200 times a day, it's going to be much more difficult for me to fix that jab later on down the line. So we're going to start off today. We're going to go over the different punches. We're going to critique them. We're going to, make sure that we have those right. And then we're going to work on our shadow boxing. And I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different things that you can focus on inside your shadow boxing to actually make it much more beneficial to you in the long run. All right. So first we're going to start off with, guys, if you guys have some weights and you want to add some resistance to it, Chris, do you want to use weights? No. Okay. If you want to grab some weights, you can add some resistance to it. She's on like her 4th workout today. All right. So we're going to start off with the jab, guys. So we're going to get in our stance. First thing we want to do with our jab, straight out, nice and high, shoulders here, throwing that jab out, okay? All right, let's work it. Here we go. Forward, boom, boom, forward. Snap that jab, pop it in, pop it out. Good. Boom, boom, boom. Forward, there we go. Boom. You can double it up. Boom, boom, boom. Forward. Well, let me make sure I got a good jab. Good. Make sure that shoulder is touching that chin on that jab. The chins are down. Guys, during this whole thing, chin down, hands up, hands coming back. These are things that happen all the time. It doesn't matter what we're working on in boxing. Right? Boom, 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 boom. All right, last 20 together. Here we go. Ready? 1, boom, 2, boom, 3, boom, 4, boom, 5, boom, 6, boom, 7, boom, 8, boom, 9, boom, 10, boom, 11, boom, 12, boom, 13, boom, 14, boom, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Next one is the right cross, guys. Everything's here. Whole cross is on that back foot. Turn that back foot, digging in. Okay? I'm not up on my toe. I'm down. I'm pushing off. Pushing off. You can see my calf is flexed. Driving that punch straight forward. My elbow stays down as long as it can. And turns up only at the end. Okay? I'm not bringing it up. All right? So I'm here. I turn. Boom. Straight out. Bam. All right? Let's work it. Here we go. Good. Sit down on it. Good. Good. Turn. Bang. Good. Go like you have some bad intentions with it. Good. One thing I want to focus on, guys, is pulling this shoulder too. Don't just push forward. Pull, twist, bang. This shoulder pulls this shoulder. So if this one's going back, this one's got to come forward. There you go. Good. Good. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Good. Cressa, count me out 10 more. 10 more. Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Push off that back
4,
foot.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. All right, so the hook. Guys, the hook, the big area you guys have in the hook is keeping the elbow down. When I throw the hook, I want the elbow even with my shoulder, okay? I can throw it here like a tie, throw it here. We'll get into the reasons on using those. This is a little bit more boxing style. This was more tie style. I'm not really worried about that right now. What I am worried about is turning on the ball of the foot, creating power with the hip, and the elbow being even with the shoulder like so, okay? This one stays nice and tight, hands up, bang, just like that. Pull with your hip, okay? Your hand should stay behind you, okay? It shouldn't be out in front. It should be behind. You're pulling the punch, boom, bang, bang, just like that. Pull that punch behind you. There we go. What's up, Anthony? Good. Bang, good. Good. I'm going through these punches, guys, because these are things I'm going to be looking at when you're shadow boxing. Making sure that these punches are coming off clean. Good. Elbow a little bit higher, Christina. Good. Count me off 10 more, Caressa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. All right, guys, last one, uppercut. I can throw it with the lead or the rear, okay? We're going to primarily focus on the rear right now. Same thing. It's exactly the same as the right cross, guys, except I'm just releasing. Biggest error is the hand, how far this comes down. If you drop this hand way down to here, you're wide open, guys. So I'm going to keep it nice tight to my chin, and I'm going to use my level change here to turn, boom, and drive up. Notice it doesn't come hardly off my chin at all. Look how distance from here to here, not too far. Boom, and then I turn it up. One thing I want you guys to practice with your uppercut is throwing it out, not straight up into you, because you're going to hit something and it's going to ricochet back into you. Okay, so throw it out. Make sure that the arm is facing away from you. Boom, like so. Understand? Don't pull it back to you. All right, so we're here. Sink, drop your level, and turn. Boom, boom, boom. All right, just like that. Good. Drop your level, turn your back foot, drive it home. Good. Christina, good. Anthony, good. Everybody looking good. Good, good, good. All right, let's get 10 more. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, guys, let's get started here. All right, so let's talk about shadow boxing. Okay, shadow boxing is a very common tool. Pros shadow box for hours, guys. Hours, 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 and hours are spent a week shadow boxing. Okay, if you don't have anything to do, you shadow box. I mean, that's just pretty much the rule of the gym. Okay, when it comes to being a pro. All right, so one of the things that we want to say is you got to have a focus. You got to go into shadow boxing with some sort of focus. Just don't go in there going, okay, here I go. I'm just gonna throw some punches, blah, blah, blah. Have some focus. Today I'm gonna walk through kind of my theology when I was shadow boxing, and I'm also gonna work with Caressa a little bit in front of you, showing you as a trainer what we're looking for in a development process of. Guys, when I walk into a gym, shadow boxing is the easiest way, the easiest thing in the gym for me to look at and tell the experience of a person. More than pad work, more than bag work. If I can see everybody in your gym doing shadow boxing, I can tell you exactly who the more skilled people are, because they're doing it by themselves. They're not being pushed by a trainer on pads. It's very, you have to pull it out of yourself. Does that make sense? Okay. So you can definitely see the ones that are determined, the ones that have the heart, the ones that really are pushing themselves because they're pulling it out of their own and not being pushed by a trainer, by pads, things like that. Okay. So the first one I do when I start shadow boxing, first thing I'm doing is I'm just working basically just on my combinations, just on my, I'm not really gonna do a whole lot of movement here. Okay. I'm not gonna do a lot of crazy stuff. I'm just working good. trying to practice my levels, keeping my form of my punches correct, turning my body here, which, as you guys know, is a lot easier said than done. It's one of the biggest mistakes we make is we get too common and we're not turning our punches, turning our hips. And I'm just gonna sit and let's work it. Boom. Not using too much footwork, just trying to do different combinations and just moving around, okay? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to start off, we're gonna start off nice and easy, okay? So for like the first 30 seconds to a minute, I'm just gonna have you guys just running through your punches, trying to do these different combinations. At a certain point, I'm gonna tell you to speed it up. At this point, I want you to start letting it go, okay? Everybody got it? All right, let's get front and center, here we go. Again, not too much movement, just letting your 3-4 punch combinations go. If we don't know what to throw, keep your jab working, okay? Jab's the answer to everything. So if you don't know what to throw, you're thinking about what to throw, pop that jab out there, keep it busy. Good. Again, just focus on bringing those hands back nice and high, forming those combinations, letting it flow. I like to see at least 3 punch combinations. There you go. Good, Anthony. Good, good, good. Good. Christina, don't think about it so much. Just let it go. There you go. The simple ones are the ones you're going to use. Don't try to get, you don't have to get overly creative on it. There you go. Perfect, perfect. Let me see a little bit more hip on that hook. So for you guys, while you're paying attention, just while you keep working, while you listen to me. So one of the things that you'll see that I'm looking at Caressa while she's working is I'm looking at, is she extending her hands out, okay? Is she forming her combination? Is it rolling? Is it making sense, okay? Is she throwing punches that actually are formed correctly? Is her hand coming back to her face, okay? Where is her level of her hands? Is she holding her hands down here? Is she holding them up here? Okay, these are all the things I'm looking at. Elbow placement, our elbows flared out, our elbows in. These are all the things as a trainer that I'm looking at, are things that I can correct in like pad work and stuff like that. A lot of times as trainers, we don't actually do a lot of the correction in this. We take this to your pad work and stuff like that, and that's where we make the corrections. Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead and speed it up. 30 seconds. Just let your hands go. Let them go. Still want to see good combinations. But now I'm going to pick up that power, pick up that speed. Good, 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 good. No rest. Come on, stay busy. Stay busy for me. 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. Come on. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Everybody give me 10 push-ups. 10 out. Rep out those 10 push-ups for me. All right, so next, guys, while you're doing your push-ups, next what we're going to do is we're going to add head movement, okay? Head movement is a very simple thing. So what I first do when I'm is I warm it up, okay? Because a lot of times I come into the gym, sometimes I'm a little stiff. You know, I have back issues, as you guys said, so I have to kind of loosen up a little bit. So you'll see me, I'm just here, moving my head a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, not really throwing punches. I'll do that for about maybe 30 seconds or so, and then I'll start to add my punches into it. And I'm just working off of my punches, okay? Let yourself develop, okay? Let yourself work through stages, okay? Don't try to throw it all together at one time because something always gets left out of the bag. Let yourself develop. Start here. Boom. Working your head movement, okay? Great to do in front of a mirror if you have a mirror. A lot of us don't have that right ready, but if you do, great tool is a mirror. So I'm here, boom, boom. Good, I'm gonna do that for like 30 seconds. Then I'm gonna start adding my jabs. Okay, adding that different head movement. Now guys, I have 3 directions that I can move my head, right? Left, right, down, well technically and back, so 4. But lay off the back one for right now. So I'm here, boom. Working that. So that's what I want for 30 seconds. I don't want any punches. I just want nothing but head movement, all right? Once I tell you to, I want you to go ahead and add your punches to it. We're starting in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Good. There we go. All right. Go ahead and add your punches to it. Now just add those punches. Yep. Throw those punches and just break off of them. Boom. Trying to be a little elusive. Good. 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 Good, Christina. There you go. Let me see, Anthony. That's nice, Anthony. Good. Good. Now use your prop. Okay, so you know, if you go to your right, come back right. If you go left, come back left. There you go. There you go, Anthony. Work. Good, 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 good. 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 Nice hands up, nice high. There we go. Boom. Good. All right, 30 seconds. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Pick up your pace. There we go. There we go. Work, work, work. Good, 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 good. 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 There it is. There it is. There it is. Good. Give me a little head movement. Come off of that. Give me a little head movement. Come off of that. There you go. Good. Good. And break. Give me 10 push-ups. Good, guys. Good. Okay. Good. All right. So from there, guys, we still haven't done a whole lot of movement here. We're still kind of sat in one spot, kind of working on these things. So now we're going to add a little bit of footwork to it, okay? Now the thing about footwork is you got to keep it inside your ability, okay? If you're starting out, that means your footwork's got to stay very simple. If you are more advanced, then you got to make it more complex. You got to keep it inside your realm. If you are trying to do very advanced footwork at a very early stage of fighting, you're just going to confuse yourself and you're not going to make it. If you are advanced and you're just doing simple steps, then you're not going to be helping yourself out either. So know where you fall, okay? If you're having a lot of difficulty with something, digress off of it. Simplify it, okay? I'm working forward, I'm working backwards, I'm working left, I'm working right. That's where you should stick for a little while, okay? Once you've mastered that, you can start adding your different pivots and rotations into it. Okay, you can start stepping with your punches and adding footwork in there. So all I want to see from most of you guys right now is just working forward, working backwards, working left, working right. So I'm just going to be here. Good. Okay, and from there we're going to add our punches to it. Okay, does everybody understand? Thumbs up. Good, good, good. All right, let's work. First 30 seconds, no punches. Just working our footwork. Stepping in and stepping out. For you guys that are a little bit more advanced, like Caressa, Anthony, actually even Christina, if you feel comfortable, go ahead and throw that pivot in there, okay? You can throw a pivot in there. Got about 10 seconds. I'm gonna start adding punches to it. All right, let's go ahead and add those punches. Go ahead and add those punches to it. Moving off of those punches. Good. Let's keep that head movement in there too. Keep the head movement. Keep all that stuff that we worked on inside that. We're building. We're not getting rid of. So we still have head movement. We still have good combinations. Good, 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 good. Good. A lot more movement around the area. Try to use all the area you got. Use all the area you got, guys. I know some of you have confined areas, but try to use maximize all that area. Anthony, you got plenty of area. Good, good, good. We're going 30 more seconds, guys. 30 more seconds. Good, 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 good. There we go. there we go. There we go. One. Good. Make sure we keep those punches snappy. Keep those punches snappy. Good. One of the things I want you guys to notice when Chris is working, she's constantly keeping that jab working. Constantly keeping that jab working. Okay, that's one of the big mysteries of boxing. You don't know what to do, that jab needs to stay working. He who throws the most jab usually wins the fight. And break. Give me 10 push-ups. Good, good. All right. So from here, guys, we're going to start to get into a little bit more of the technicality stuff, okay? So this, what you just saw is where I start, okay? I probably usually combine that for myself into like the first round, first 3-minute round. I'll combine all that stuff in. As you get more advanced, that stuff, it's just kind of a reminder, just something you go back and touch a little bit. If you guys need to get some water right now while I'm talking. Breathe for a second. So now we start to get into some of the more technical stuff, okay? So the first one we're going to talk about is level changing, okay? In boxing, especially a lot of my students that are coming from Thai, we're so used to being way up here, we forget that there's a whole nother aspect in boxing. It's the low part, the changing the angles. And it is very difficult to punch somebody who's down here, okay? It's not hard to knee him in the face or kick him, and that's the reason why we don't do it in Thai. But in boxing, this is a very, very powerful tool. So one of the ways that I practice with myself and with my boxers is a touch tool that we do. So we're going to start off just by throwing combinations. And after my combination, all I'm going to do is squat down and touch the ground just like so. Now, if you notice, I go straight down, okay? I'm not leaning forward. I'm going straight down and touching between my feet like this. So I'll throw a combination. Good. And all I'm doing is working on that level change. I am constantly want to be changing my level up and down as I box. Okay, even if I'm not attacking, if I'm sitting in front of somebody, I'm constantly changing that level. Okay, this is another aspect of head movement, but it's a little bit more technical. Okay, so we're going to start out. Chris, you come out here with me. All right, so we're going to start out, guys. Again, start out not moving. Start out standing still, keeping it as simple as possible until you understand. And once you start to feel comfortable with it, then add and get more creative with it. So I'm going to sit here with Chris, and we're just going to throw our punches, boom, and touch. And I'm using my rear hand just so I don't want to twist. So guys, I'm using my rear hand when I go down. Okay, just. All right, everybody got it? Let's go ahead and work that just a little bit. Take your time with it at first. Throw your punches, and then just change your level, touch the ground. Good. Good. Good, Anthony. Good, guys. That looks great. Good. Good. So now what I'm going to do is, now that I've warmed myself up and kind of have it in my head that I'm going to change levels, now I can take that touch out of it. And now I'm just going to, what I want to do is I want to throw a combination lower and come back up into another combination. Just boom, boom, boom. You see me lowering my level and coming out into a combination. So we're putting that in between. So it feels very cohesively inside of the combination. We're not using it independently of itself. We're using it inside as part of our combination, as part of our head movement. Make sense? All right, so let's try that out. All right, let's work. So throw your combination, drop your level, come right out with a combination. Good. Perfect, Caressa, good. Good, your two biggest punches here are going to be coming out with the cross and coming out with the hook. Jab works also, the uppercut works also, but your most popular ones are going to be coming out with the hook or the cross. There it is, there it is. One. Stay with it. Stay with it. All right, so now let's let them go for about 30 seconds. Go ahead and let the hands go. Work it a little bit. Good. Perfect, 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 perfect. Good. Snappy on the punches. Snappy on the punches. Good. Oh, good day, good day. 3, 2, 1. Break. All right, guys. Okay, so we're going to skip the push-ups on this one. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of break. I know those arms are getting a little sore. All right, so the next one, because, okay, so let's talk about it. What goes hand in hand with dropping our level? What's one of the reasons we would do this defensively, but why else would we do this?
To go to the body.
To go to the body. So our body work, okay? Which is one of the big things that we miss when we're doing a lot of shadow boxing. I watch my students shadow box. I see a lot of head hunting. We completely forget about that body, okay? You can't breathe, you can't fight. Do not underestimate the power of the body work, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here. We're doing that same thing we did before, but we're gonna drop our level and start working the body. But what I want you guys to get used to is lowering your level to attack the body in boxing. It's so much better to come here and throw this punch where my shoulder can stay here than being up top punching down where there's nothing around my chin at this point. So I could be here, boom, and I'm nice and tight, than being up here punching down with nothing protecting me. Understand? Okay? So again, we're getting right back to where we started. Coming here, we're throwing a combination. We're gonna drop our level, and we're gonna go to the body however we're doing it. But I wanna see that elevator. I wanna see that lowering the level, hitting the body. Coming back up, stop, come back up here. Everybody see that? Don't get crazy with your combinations, keep them simple. I'm more worried about the technicality of you dropping and raising than I am the complexity of your combinations, okay? All right, here we go, let's work. Let's go. Let the punches go, drop your level, hit the body. Good. We're gonna do this for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna take it up one more. Good, 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 good. Good, drop. There we go. Good, feel free to let some down there. You don't have to just throw one punch, guys. You can throw a few down there. Hey. Good, Anthony. All right, there you go. Good, good, good. All right, so now what I want you guys to do is now come back up, okay? So we came here, we threw our punch, boom, boom, we dropped the level, boom, okay? So now what I want to see, and some of you guys were already doing it, and that's fine, but now I want to concentrate, boom, boom. I'm coming down and now coming back upstairs and finishing my combination up top. So I went, attacked the head, I attacked the body, I attacked the head. Lowering just like an elevator. Got it? All right? Got 30 seconds. Let's work. Work through it, and then we're going to pick up our pace after 30 seconds. There we go. There we go. Good, guys. Good, guys. Good. Let me see it, Anthony. Let me see a good one. Wop. Drop that level. There you go. Sink. Good. Good, good, good. All right, 30 seconds. Let's pick it up. Pick it up. Let it go. Give me a good hard 30 seconds. Let's go. Good hard 30 seconds. Good extension on the punches. Good extension on the punches. Make them snappy. Good, 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 good. 3, 2, 1. All right. Push-ups on this set. Push-ups on this set. 10 push-ups. All right. So next one, for those of you guys that were with me yesterday, it's going to be the shadow boxing version of a drill that we did. We did a drill with a T where we were breaking angles, okay? So we're going to do that same thing here. So all I want you to do, guys, is simplify it. Again, those of you guys that are way more advanced, you know what you can do to add more technicality and more advancement to this, but keep it simple for right now. I'm going to imagine the person's in front of me. I want to attack forward, and I want to angle. Back in. Angle. Good. So I'm just stepping forward, angling, back. Stepping forward, angling, back. Okay? So start off with just the footwork. So I'm going to step forward, step out, step in, step back. Step forward, step out, step in, step back. Okay? Start off there. Imagine it's just a T. I'm just making a T. Everybody see that? Okay? Start off with just the footwork, and then we'll add the punches to it, all right? We'll start in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's work. Step in, angle out. Step in, angle back. Good. Good. Make sure that when you're doing this, guys, you're doing it for speed. I want those turns to be nice and fast. Okay, if I turn nice and slow, they're just going to turn right with me. So they need to stay low, keep your base broken down, boom, nice tight turns. Good. Good. Let me see it, Anthony. Bang. Good. Good, good, good. Good. All right. So let's go ahead and add our punches to it. So we need to have entry punches. We can't step into somebody without doing something. We want to come here. Okay. As we throw, guys, we don't want to reset and then turn. We want to try to turn inside of our combination. Boom, 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 and back in. Okay. And what I mean by speed, guys, is when I'm here, when I step in, I'm not going. Okay. I'm coming in and I'm shifting nice and tight. Make those pivot changes nice and fast. Okay. All right. So let's work. Let's work. Punch in. Try to pivot inside of your combination. Roll out. There you go. Remember, visualize your opponent. Always visualize somebody in front of you so you know what the proper punch to use is. All right, let's pick it up. Let's start letting those hands go. All right, speed it up, speed it up. Try to add the speed to it. 30 seconds. Here we go. Work. Come on. $15 seconds, guys. Stay with it. Stay with it. Come on. Let them hands go. Keep those feet moving in and out. Listen. 3, 2, 1. Break. Listen, guys. As boxers, if our feet stop moving, we're dead in the water. Okay? Our feet have to stay moving. Okay? So as we're throwing those punches, bang. If our hands stop, our feet go. All right? All right. So next. So now we're to the one that is the big killer, defense. Okay? We have to make sure that we're always practicing defense. A lot of times we get very offensive minded on pad work, bag work, even shadow boxing, and that defense gets kind of left behind. understand, guys, defense is the only thing that I think about when I'm fighting, really. I mean, the offense is natural. You practice the combinations hundreds of times. They come out very natural. I'm looking for openings, and I'm looking to see what's coming at me. Those are the two things I'm paying attention of, okay? You have to make sure you're staying defensive-minded, okay? So in shadow boxing, first thing, this only works if you visualize, plain and simple. If you do not visualize, if you do not put yourself in a situation with a person in front of you that's attacking you, there is no way for you to work on your defense because all you're doing is just going through forms, okay? So I put a person in front of me, a real life, and the more fights that you've had in your life, the easier this is. You just put yourself in situations that you've already been in, all right? So I'm here. So what I want to do is I want to throw a combination. Boom. Then I'm going to block a combination. And it doesn't matter what comes back at me. It can be everything simple from one punch to, as I just blocked, jab, cross, hook, okay? I want you to throw a punch, and I want you to block a punch. You can use blocks, picks, parries, slips, rolls, whatever you want to do. But make sure that you're blocking something that you see, okay? So if I'm here, I throw my jab cross, I see a cross, I dip, boom, boom, uppercut, okay? Make sure that you're thinking about what you're actually moving away from. You're not just slipping to slip. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay? Try to, if you have to go slow with this, that's fine. Let's do a jab cross, stop for a second. Okay, pick, boom, jab, okay, boom, boom, cross, boom, good. Jab cross, okay, jab cross, okay. Take a second, okay? What I did in the beginning was I called out what I was trying to slip. Like you just heard me say. I literally said it, what I was trying to dodge. And that helped me stay so that I was paying attention to what I was actually slipping and not just slipping to slip. That makes sense? All right? So start off nice and slow, guys. Start off nice and slow. Throw a punch. Think about it. Block something. All right? Don't put a lot of footwork into it right now. Just try to keep it simple. Show me a combination, then show me a block. Start off just blocking one punch at a time if you need to. Okay? All right. There you go. Good, Christina. That's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Just staying defensive minded. Right. Good work, good work. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay active. Good roll. Good roll, Christina. There you go. Good slip, Anthony. Bop, bop, boom. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Good. Roll, roll. Good. Bop, bop, roll. Good. Looking good, guys. Looking really, really good. Good. So now start picking it up a little bit. Make it a little bit more complex. Start blocking 2 or 3 punches. Okay? Try to block 2 or 3 punches at the same time. So you can pick the jab, roll the cross. Okay? Block the hook. All right. Looking good. Looking good. There we go. Good. Nice extension. Make sure that we're fully extending those punches still. Okay. Everything that we worked on in the beginning class still applies. Long punches. Chris, hands are up nice and high. Oh, we got another 15 seconds on this, so go ahead and keep it going, keep it going. All right, so break. So Caressa, idealistically, after I block something, what do I want to do?
Respond.
I want to respond, guys. So if I make it a defensive maneuver, I want to block. I want to respond. And what's that called, guys? Countering. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off those blocks with my counters, okay? So now I want you to throw a combination, block a combination, counter off that combination. Does everybody understand? All right. Again, take your time. Get a feel for it. pick up your pace. If you get overwhelmed or you start, losing your technique, then just slow down a little bit. And keep speeding up and slowing down, okay? All right, we're going to start in 2, 1, go. Throw a combination, block combination, throw a combination. Oh, we got 20 seconds. Come on, work. Good. Throw combination, block combination, counter off that block. Good, and break. Good break. Guys, grab a sip of water. We got one more thing to work on, and then we'll get into abs, and you guys will be good to go. Okay? Grab a sip of water. Come on back. Ooh, I gotta set this up. All right, guys. So next we're going to talk about something that we want to do. Eventually, guys, once I go through all these different stages and I've worked through these things, I'm going to start putting everything together. Okay. So then we'll start doing a couple rounds where we actually put everything together. We're mixing in our offense, our defense, our level changes, our footwork. All that stuff comes into play. Okay. Once we get to that point, I want to talk to you about something that I'd like to see you do while you're in that stage of your training. So I set up like a little faux ring here. Understand that we have two different types of positioning, I like to call it, when we're in the ring. So you have one where you're in the center of the ring, and Caressa would be on the outside. So when I'm shadow boxing, put yourself like you're imagining in the center of the ring. Footwork is different here, guys. So if I'm here and she's moving this way, I'm gonna use a lot of my front foot to stay in front of her. Everybody see that? She goes this way. I'm kind of pivoting with her like so. So when you're shadow boxing, I want you to shadow box like you're in the center of the ring and you're following that person around the perimeter. And then in the reverse, put yourself in Caressa's shoes where you're actually sparring. Go ahead and throw your punches too. Where you're actually moving around the outside of the ring in the perimeter, okay? Because there's two very different footworks that go. Did you see how much different her footwork was than my footwork? We'll see it one more time. I'll stay in front of her. Okay, now watch her footwork as she's staying. Hers is a lot more busy because she has to cover much more ground than the angle that I have being in the center. Okay, so make sure that you're putting it. So we're gonna practice that real quick. So for this one, guys, you can use anything you want. If you just want to throw punches, that's fine. If you want to add the defensive stuff, that's fine. But what I want you to do is we're gonna start out on the outside. So whatever area you have, I want you to get to the edge of it, and I want you to put. What helps me is take an object and put it right in the center of your room, like your glove or whatever, just right in the center of the room. And I want you to work all the way around your workable area, keeping your body focused on that object, okay? And we're gonna do this for about a minute, minute and a half, okay? Chris, you're fine, you're good. Yeah. All right, so, all right, is everybody ready? All right, so now square up so you're facing that center of that object. And just move yourself around the perimeter of your workspace. Keeping your, there you go. Good. Good. Keep working, guys. Keep working. Good, 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 good. 30 seconds. Come on. All right, break. All right, so for the next one, guys, this will be the last one. What I did, obviously, guys, the more fights you have, the better your visualization is, the more experience you've had, it's going to be easier. But for you guys, what I do for my students is I put markers in between. All right, see how I put these markers in between? So what Caress is going to do is she's just going to turn from one to another. She'll start with this one, and she'll be sparring. Okay, she's in the center of the ring. And she's going to turn and face the next one. Just like me, if I was here and I moved this way, now she's fighting this one. And she can go back to this one. Good, she can move around different objects, just like something's moving around the perimeter on her. Everybody understand? We're just going to do this for a couple seconds. We're running out of time. So just imagine what you're trying to do here. Imagine that those objects are different places that your opponent can be on the outside of the ring. All right, let's work. Oh, just working from one object to the other. Oh, trying to stay in front of them, cutting them off, keeping them in front of you. Owning the big part of the ring. Good. Give me another 15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds. Come on, work. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Guys, I really hope that today's lesson helped you guys understand how valuable shadow boxing is and some of the ways that you can make more sense to you, where you can get more out of it and actually utilize all the different awesome things that you can do with it. Take time to develop these things. Take time to, just take one off. You don't have to go through this entire list that I gave you today, but tomorrow after you get done with your set, take one of the things that we did today and just go off and do 5 minutes of shadow boxing, just practicing on what we just did, or even just a round, just 3 minutes. But let these different focus points develop, and eventually it will all come together, and you'll be a much more all-around fighter with much more skills. Guys, thank you for joining me again, my name's Crew Matt. I'm with Elite Muay Thai. This was our boxing lesson for today.